Dun 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 dun. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Munky,
and this is Head,
and we are
Korn.
Form of Korn.
I wonder how many people out there actually saw that South Park episode and knew what you were doing right there.
Probably like 3 out of 10. This is our top 11 heaviest Korn riffs. Now, these aren't in any order. So my first one was the middle part of Daddy, where it's like dun 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 dun. Dun.
I never would have chose that riff because in my mind, I'm thinking like riffs that start the song. So that is a perfect first riff. And it's just like, we're chunking it with our palms and it's just heavy. It's like the Melvins or something.
The little whistles in between.
Remember, Fieldy also used to play that riff with his thumb to get the heaviest sound he could on the bass instead of playing with his fingers. Slapping would never have worked because there's not enough low end. Fingers might have worked, but he like pushed down the heavy lowest string on the bass, whatever that is. It was a B, I think, but he would just.
It almost like a bass chunk, I guess, like a bass palm mute.
My first choice is really heavy, but it also has a groove to it. And I think many people would agree that were with us way back then. Bottom.
Yeah.
That's just like setting it up. That's setting it up, and then I mean, I've never heard from us or any band like a riff quite like that, with just the 808 slamming on the downbeat with a biohazard-y type of slide riff that grooves like that. I think it's very unique, and we should pat ourselves on the back.
One of my favorite things about that is that the riff is so broken up. It's almost like the drums are going exactly with it. And there's a couple hits in there, and it's really chopped up. And then that little breath of air, like you said, is
little history lesson for anybody that cares to know. That song, that riff, came from a former band before Korn that Monk and Fieldy, David, and a former singer, Richard Morrill. We don't maybe know the song, but we know the band. It was Creep, and that riff was not broken up with the 808 at all. It was just straight. And then we just took it, got with Ross, influenced by a lot of the 808 sounding tricks. And so we came up with it. We just re-edited it in Baltum. And yeah, little history lesson.
My next pick for Korn's heaviest 11 is the middle part, the breakdown. I got a couple of middle parts because our middle parts get really heavy. On the first album again, for the song Fat. It's like a kind of a weird timing. I remember working with David on that in the rehearsal room, and I was like, I don't get it because there's off times on the upbeats and stuff, and I was like, you're a kid, and you're like, he kept doing this hi-hat. He's like, like this. I can't even remember the beat. That part, that heavy part. That's, I think, kind of also where Jonathan scat, that all started to kind of surface right there.
All right, I'm going to jump ahead into 2022 just to change things up. A newer song that we have called Lost in the Grandeur.
Ooh.
We tried to put it on, I believe, 3 songs before this album, Requiem.
3 albums before, yeah.
The chorus was just wrong, I think, and we could never finish the song, but We finally did on this record. We used the Digitech whammy. You know, a lot of these riffs aren't very difficult. You know, they're just like heavy and they make you bob your head. You know, it's a down, down, down.
In March, I think, when we were out with Chevelle, that was one of my favorite moments of the set list, because that I love playing that riff, and I love getting to finally play it for people, because we, like you said, we had that riff for a long time, and it finally found a path through like that verse, and then we found that chorus, and then that gave it life. Number 5 on our list, one of my favorite heavy Korn riffs, is at the end of the song Somebody Someone. It's one of my favorite things and favorite songs to play at a festival, any show really, because Jonathan does this, everybody get your hands in the air, and then the ending part comes, and it's quite different, honestly, because not a lot of songs that you hear these days move tempos. And at the end of the song, it kind of picks up. It does this little, which is kind of like what? Pretty much at the end of the song, or where I guess typically a bridge would be. And then it kind of ends with this slowed down heavy riff. And it's so unique and different for a typical song structure that you don't normally hear these days.
I'm trying to kind of pick different records throughout the timeline of the Korn timeline, if you will. And so this next one is from Serenity of Suffering. It's just straight gigantic testicles riff. It is insane.
I knew it. I knew you were going to pick that one.
On the heavy scale of 1 to 10, it's got to be a 10. It's like, it is so heavy. I don't know what makes it so heavy. Maybe it's a tempo. It's definitely the notes. The working title was called Coffee, because when we played that riff, all of us were wired and we felt like we were tweaking. Oh my gosh, that riff. It was crazy.
It translated live too. I think that's always one of our things. It's like, okay, it sounds great in here, and then but you never know until you get out in front on the stage and you play in front of people, and how the energy between the band is, and how that translates to the people. I think they feel it. Like there's something that hits just. You're right. It's the tempo and the notes, everything, the synergy of that riff on that record, and it's killer live. So much fun to play. And it has this climb up riff also in the middle, which is and he goes and it's so crazy and unique, and both the riff and the vocal together. That's why this song has to be called Insane. A song that starts out really chill from an older album, and then in the middle gets very heavy.
I know it. Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
Kill You.
Yeah!
Oh, I knew it.
It's like gung gung goo, dun 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 gung gung goo, gung gung. And then you do like it's a call and answer riff. I'll do the first dun 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 dun. Yes, exactly. And when we play that together, man, I mean, I remember playing that live in some clubs and just felt like the walls were gonna collapse, and Jonathan falling on the ground and going crazy in dreads, and just everybody sweat, and just it was a moment, a memory that I hold close in my heart.
That's a very intense song. It's the lyrics are pretty disturbing, and it's a 20-something-year-old basically kid still, really coming to terms with some dark memories from abusive situation. And so the riff and the vocals and the content of the lyrics is just like, wow. It's really intense is the word I can't get away from. This next song for the heaviest riffs I chose I don't like the song. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't like the song, but I love the riff. It's really heavy, and I just wish we would have might have written like a full-on Korn song with this riff. And nothing against the guest vocalist at all. I just feel like the song could have had a different level of credibility if we would have just made it a Korn song. But it's all in the family.
Say what, say what? Say what, say what?
That riff, dude. So we have this Digitech pedal, and there's a setting, number 18, where if you put it on 18 and you take it all the way down with the distortion, it sounds like a distorted bass guitar. It's so low that it's almost like too low. We start the song out.
It's one of the heaviest riffs. You're right. It's a good call.
I know Jonathan just did an article. He did an interview. He said that was his least favorite Korn song of all time. So it's not like I'm saying something, horrible and new. He said it before, but I agree with him. I feel like that could have been something very special, but it's still like classic, and a lot of fans like that song. So it's not like horrible. It's not the end of the world. But I guess looking back on our catalog, it just didn't really sit well with the test of time, I don't think. But that riff, I really love it.
My next pick is from that same album, which is Follow the Leader. It's a song that we kind of, again, one of those old riffs that we've rehashed, the song called My Gift to You. Well, again, one of those riffs that was just like the timing was off and weird, but as soon as we all locked in and got that dun 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 da, do, do, do. It's just slow and sludgy. Jonathan is singing this really delicate, kind of offsets the whole thing with the dark lyrics, but he sings it in such a kind of sweet way, and it's pretty haunting.
I think it was in the band Creep, right?
Yeah, it's another one of those. You know what? Here's an interesting fact too, a history lesson. I remember we had recorded that, and when we wanted to audition Jonathan, that was one of the songs we sent to him with no vocals on it. It was just that song instrumental, and we'd taken off the old singer, and Ross sent him the demo with that one of that song. I think Ball Tongue. Predictable, yep. Those are some of the very first Korn songs ever made.
Some songs that we write, they get an instant stamp of approval, a big fat yes. One of those songs for my next choice is Twist. We were just goofing around in the studio. We came up with that riff. And just heavy, heavy, heavy. When you hear it, it has the Korn Munky head style, bizarre, weird chords and head bobbing. And I don't know. That's one of my favorite heavy riffs of all time. It's like slower tempo. And as soon as Jonathan heard that, he started doing, wasn't it right away? Didn't he just grab the mic and just do something? And it sounded like Twist right away. It
was one of the first things that we wrote on like the whole writing process of Life is Peachy. It was like we went into the room and started to plug our stuff in, and that was the first thing that we came up with. And I think Jonathan's like, what am I gonna sing? And Ross just go in there and sing, just whatever comes out. And that's what it was. I think it's like the shortest song, the most famous song with one lyric.
Right, one freaking lyric.
I think Brian and I both agree the last one should be the middle part build up for Freak on a Leash.
Go!
Go! Yeah, when he says go, bum, bum. I mean, it's just like 5 notes in a row, but just climbing up the neck. But it just, that song at that point just kind of takes a left turn. The whole song is kind of, if you think about it, it's just weird. And I think we were like, okay, it's already weird. Why don't we just go completely left with this and do a tempo change and a little breakdown and get really heavy.
That song and that section of that song, it's like everyone's waiting for that to come. It's like, you know, the rest of the song is good. It's really like there's a great hook in the chorus and the verses and the pre-chorus are melodic and everything, but it's like the tension is building up to that one point of the song. We can't play a show where we don't play that song because so many people come to hear it. And sometimes we're like, you know, off or you're gonna leave, you know, but once we hit that part go, like it's still fun to this day after all these decades.
Even that part, the little breakdown where we're doing these harmonics. That thing is so fun to play. And I gotta tell you, like, it's still like, it's a simple part, but I get so excited I make mistakes because I'm like, oh God, the heavy part's coming up. You know, like, am I gonna watch the crowd? Are we gonna watch each other? Are we gonna, you know, like, what's gonna happen? I love that little breakdown. It takes a step back before you take a big leap forward and hit that heavy section. There you have it. Korn's 11 heaviest riffs for today. Anyway, it could change tomorrow.
Let us know in the comments what you think of our choices. Come check us out this August. We're starting our tour with Evanescence and a bunch of other bands. So check out the dates on our website and we'll see you out there.
It's Korn's 11 heaviest riffs. Did I say heaviest too many times?
No, because they're heavy as balls. Say heavy again.
Heavy, heavy, heavy.